A legendary, or a tyrant. Qin Shi Huang, the man shaped China. A long time ago, in the ancient world, three major civilizations were flourishing. The Roman Empire in Europe, ancient Greece in the Mediterranean. There is also the Qin Empire of China, the Panda Empire. Rome is famous for its engineering and architectural culture. Greece is known for its philosophical and scientific achievements. The Qin dynasty, on the other hand, was known for its military power. The first emperor of China, Qin Shi Huang, lived in that era. So how did Qin Shi Huang become China's #1 boss? It is said that in ancient China, there were 7 warring kingdoms, called the 7 Big of Warring States. Each kingdom has its own ruler, and competed with other kingdoms for power and profit. When King Shi Huang, the ruler of Qin, died, his son was named Yingzhen at the age of 13. Despite his young age, Yingzhen became the new king of Qin, the future Qin Shi Huang. As a young prince and young king, the first half of his life could have been a gossip movie, full of conspiracy and rumors. And the beginning of this gossip life must start with his father's wandering and love history. Qin Shi Huang's father, Zichu, was once a fallen prince. He was sent to Zhao, one of the 7 warring states, as a hostage. During this time, he met a very wealthy merchant named Liu Biyu Wei. Liu Biyu Wei had a beautiful concubine named Zhao Ji who could sing and dance well. At that time, the status of such a concubine was not considered a servant, but a slave. Liu Biyu Wei thought that the fallen Prince Zichu was a unique and precious commodity. It is a superb investment that is severely undervalued. So, a big gift was sent to this fallen prince. This great gift is the beautiful concubine, Zhao Ji. Later, Zichu and Zhao Ji had a child named Yingzhen, the future Qin Shi Huang. In fact, Liu Biyu Wei's actions were, to put it bluntly, bribery. But what he wanted in return was not a present benefit, but a future in which he could share the power and benefits of the empire with Zichu when he became king of Qin. So, with the help of Liu Biyu Wei, Zichu became the king of Qin, the King Zhuangxiong of Qin. After the death of King Zhuangxiong of Qin, due to the great power of Liu Biyu Wei, and he was also the ex-husband of the mother of King Zhuangxiong's son, he certainly wants to help his ex-wife's son to inherit the throne. Thus, at the age of 13, Yingzhen became the king of Qin and called Liu Biyu Wei as his uncle-father, similar to the godfather. But at this time, Yingzhen was only the king of Qin and had not yet owned the title of Qin Shi Huang. He was not an emperor at that moment. The future Qin Shi Huang, Yingzhen had no real power at the time of his reign and relied mainly on Liu Biyu Wei and his mother Lady Zhao Ji to govern the country. Qin Shi Huang's mother, Lady Zhao Ji, was of humble origins, but she was smart and resourceful, and helped Yingzhen a lot in the process of crowning the king. But after Yingzhen was crowned king, as Queen Mother, her hobby shifted from power to love. Zhao Ji had several lovers in her life, including the powerful Liu Biyu Wei. There were even rumors that Liu Biyu Wei might even be Yingzhen's father, but such claims are controversial. Later, the Queen Mother Zhao Ji had a famous lover named Lao Ai who is a slave. According to history, this man was favored by Queen Mother Zhao Ji because he was handsome and good in bed. Even, the Queen Mother Zhao Ji made this slave-born lover a marquis because of this romantic relationship. And there are 2 illegitimate children, it said, a boy and a girl. So Lao Ai had the idea of plotting a rebellion and wanted to kill the king Yingzhen, and let the children of himself and Queen Mother Zhao Ji be the new king of Qin. However, this matter was known to the king of Qin, Yingzhen. Firstly, King Yingzhen didn't care about that how many boyfriends the Queen Mother owned. But the Queen Mother not only fell in love, but also had 2 illegitimate children and tried to kill King Yingzhen, which is very frightening. So, Yingzhen quickly sent his army to suppress the rebellious group of people. He also killed all of Lao Ai and his illegitimate children, and imprisoned their mother. The young King Yingzhen thus swept away the opposition in the court by bloody means. Eventually the kingdom was firmly in his hands. In fact, Yingzheng did not intend to kill Liu Biyu at first, but only forced him to retire to his old home. But under the invisible pressure, Liu Biyu committed suicide. At this point, Yingzheng completely took control of the actual kingship of Qin, and there were no old forces left to stop his dictatorship. King Yingzheng, as an ambitious man, his ultimate goal was not just to become the king of Qin, but to unify all the kingdoms of China and establish a strong centralized government. He spent several years building up his military strength. When he was 22 years old, he began a campaign to conquer 6 other kingdoms. In 221 BC, he finally conquered the last kingdom, thus unifying China. He named himself Qin Shi Huang, meaning the first emperor of Qin. In fact, he was also the first emperor of China. Qin Shi Huang is a title he invented himself. The unified China was called Tianxia, means the known world. And the master of the known world was called the Son of Heaven, or the Son of God. The Qin dynasty represents the ruling regime of the land and also is the name of this regime. Qin Shi Huang believed that the Qin dynasty regime, could be passed on from generations to generations, until the end of time. Qin Shi Huang also stipulated that his descendants, no matter what they were called, had to follow the order of succession. For example, the next emperor should name as the second emperor of Qin, or Emperor Qin II. The third emperor was the third Qin emperor, Emperor Qin III. And so on to the nth generation and even 1,000 generations, that is, the Emperor Qin the 1,000th. Burn the books and bury alive the Confucian scholars. Although Qin Shi Huang was a remarkable leader, he was also a very controversial figure. For example, he standardized weights and measures and currency, which made trade and commerce much easier throughout the empire. He also ordered the construction of many public works, such as roads and canals, which helped improve transportation and communication. Of course, the most important purpose of doing this was to serve the rule of the empire. Because it was an immense ancient empire. Imagine this time the European continent is still a world of barbarians, and Qin Shi Huang has been able to pass his orders to the small fishing villages in the South China Sea thousands of kilometers away through various modes of transport. Qin Shi Huang concentrated power in his own hands, suppressing dissent and punishing those who opposed him. He also burned books and buried scholars alive for fear that their ideas would challenge his authority. It also reveals the nature of the dictatorial emperor. That is, in order to consolidate the rule, it was necessary to unify the mind, fool the people, and control the culture. Thus, the entire nation of individuals becomes mechanized and instrumentalized into existence. Jin Ke's assassination. There was a famous assassination before Qin Shi Huang unified China. Because the state of Yang was weak, it could not defeat Qin. So, the Prince Dan of Yang found an assassin named Jin Ke to assassinate Qin Shi Huang. Jin Ke pretended to bring a meeting gift to Qin Shi Huang. Inside is the head of Qin Shi Huang's enemy, and a map of the land of Yang. This meant that the state of Yang was willing to cede the land to Qin. Jin Ke deceived Qin Shi Huang and was allowed to unfold the map in front of him. And the moment when the scroll of the map was fully unfolded, Jin Ke grasped the dagger hidden in the map and stabbed at Qin Shi Huang. This is the origin of the Chinese idiom, a dagger hidden in the map. Unexpectedly, Qin Shi Huang dodged the thrust and escaped. And he tangled with Jin Ke for a long time around the pillar. In the end, Jin Ke failed in his assassination and was hacked to death. And his employer, the Prince of Yang, was quickly wiped out by Qin Shi Huang. Terracotta warriors and horses. The story of Jin Ke's assassination proves that although Yingzheng became the king of Qin, he did not forget to do workouts. The truth is that Qin Shi Huang's good health did also buy him more time and life. But even a good body cannot live forever, and even a powerful emperor cannot command God. So, it was inevitable that he would eventually have to face the end of his life, death. Before he died, his fear of death made him very superstitious about witchcraft and the so-called elixir of immortality. To ensure that he himself would enjoy supremacy even after his death, he even ordered a huge tomb to be built for himself with an army of terracotta soldiers to guard his corpse in the afterlife. These thousands of chariot and horse soldiers are statues made of clay. This spectacular scene came from the tomb of Qin Shi Huang, and the scene shocked the modern world. This also constitutes a metaphor for the fate of the Chinese. The vast majority of people are merely tools of the imperial dictator. Great Wall. Anyway, Qin Shi Huang was a smart and far-sighted emperor. He realized that his kingdom was vulnerable to enemy attack and would be overrun and conquered if he did not take steps to protect it. As a result, he devised a plan to build a wall along the northern border of his kingdom, stretching for thousands of miles over rugged terrain. The walls will be made of stones and bricks, high enough to stop invading horses and cavalry. At first, the people of Qin's kingdom were skeptical of his plan. They thought it was impossible to build such a wall. After all, the cost was too high. But Qin Shi Huang made up his mind and ordered his workers to begin construction immediately. So, for years, workers kept bleeding and sweating to haul the stones and bricks up the steep hillside and assemble them with precision. Many of them lost their lives during the hard labor. Eventually, the Great Wall was completed, stretching thousands of miles across the northern border of the kingdom. It was an engineering marvel, a testament to the skill and determination of the Chinese, and certainly a testament to the great power of the emperor. The Great Wall proved to be an effective defense against invading armies, and it helped protect China from enemies for centuries to come. Today, the Great Wall is a symbol of China's rich history and enduring strength, and it remains one of the most impressive feats of human engineering ever performed. Legacy and impact. Eventually, Qin Shi Huang died in 210 BC. His life was also full of controversy. During his reign, he had to fight against opposition from his own officials and even his dearest family. The tactics are also ruthless, often resorting to violence and intimidation to achieve his goals. Although his dream of unifying China became a reality, it came at a great cost. His reign is evaluated as one of the most controversial in Chinese history. As China's first true dictatorial ruler, he established a strong centralized government that was short-lived but far-reaching. A huge cultural legacy was left behind through his reign, including the Great Wall and the Terracotta Warriors, and the system of the dictatorship. After the death of Qin Shi Huang, his empire quickly fell apart and the following Han dynasty took over. Although the empire he created was short-lived in the annals of history, he himself is still considered one of the most influential figures in Chinese history, and some call him the first emperor of the Thousand Ages. He deserves this name.